Dragons under-20. He was their Toyota Cup Player of the Year last year. But gets a chance. Dummy half tonight.
They're back underway in the second half. The Dragons will get first use of it. And it's Trent Merrin to bring it back out, to be stopped by Henderson, James, and also Preston Campbell was there. A good run. He backed his way to the 20-metre line. They play it full rain. Goes across John Green. Carries it on the angle towards Prince and also Torby. Now Hornby keeping it going the same way. Cray back on the angle the other way now. They mix it up to work it away from their own end. Cray gets a ball away to Rain. He sees the chance to pick up an extra 10 metres, and after 3 plays, they're almost back at the halfway line. Soward takes the chance to kick early in the tackle count with no pressure on him. What a professional set of 6 that is from the Dragons to get the second half underway.
Yeah, terrific start. Jamie Soward jumping into dummy half. Not in his normal position of deep, waiting for the kick. Read the play after an offload from Ben Cray, jumped in and thought he'd take the opportunity to put the ball deep in Titans territory.
They wait to form the scrum. Let's go downstairs to Gary Belcher.
Yeah, it was a good first upset, wasn't it? I'm sure Wayne Bennett would have been happy with that. He's asked his team to improve their ball security. Of course, early in the first half, it was pretty ordinary there from the Dragons, and they had to hang on for dear life to make sure the Titans didn't score. But he also mentioned not to be afraid to shift earlier in the tackle count. Plenty of opportunities on the edge of the ruck, particularly for Ben Cray and Darius Boyd. John Cartwright, well, his team, he wants them to get to finish their sets better. Of course, we saw that in the first half. Their kicking game left a bit to be desired. They finally scored off one late there to Steve Michaels. And he wants them to get off the line quickly in defence and put a bit more pressure on it. A good example was some of that late defence there from Sam Tagataese and also Ash Harrison.
He certainly stung with a couple of hits, did Sam. Seemed to inspire his teammates as well. Good stop here on Henderson, who was slowly back to his feet. Prince with a kick again, it rebounded off a Dragon, off the hands of John Green, who did well to stay alive and get back there to pounce on the ball before Ryan James could get there.
Yeah, Ryan James climbing all over the top of John Green there. The kick, another rebound. This time off Wayman. That's twice tonight. Scott Prince has drifted into a Dragons player.
As a result, the Dragons have it in pretty good field position. Again, this set of 6. Now Scott takes it into Titans territory. Play it eventually. Bird falling all over the top of him. Play on is the call, though, as Gasnier steps up towards the 30-metre line. Last play as Rain goes to Soward. He'll put it up, looking for the space. In fact, he picks out the fullback on the full, and after praising Jamie Soward's kicking game so much, that was a curious one, to say the least.
It was a shank. It was a shank. I'm sure he kicked. I think as his foot came through, his foot actually hit the ground before it struck the ball, and that just took all the power out of his kick. It wasn't what he meant to do. Just a missed kick. Just watching Preston Campbell in defence, if there was a concern about him playing at dummy half, it's the fact that he's defending one off the ruck. He's defending really where a hook or a front row should defend it. I know Preston's courageous and he'll put his body on the line, but it just might take its toll on the little man Preston. And he might be vulnerable for a big man first up, straight off the ruck. The dummy half run straight at Preston might create an opportunity. Big hit.
All coming through and rattling Jason Nightingale. Guess who? Sam Tagataese.
It's unusual for someone to put a shot on Jason Nightingale because he's such an awkward character to tackle. That time, he just set himself up. He was looking to pass the ball. Just took his eyes off the defence, and Tagataese, for the 3rd or 4th time tonight, rattled a Dragons player. Short side with Hornby. Looks for an inside ball.
He said, Sam, he wasn't going to back off the big hits in 2011 after suffering a fractured shoulder and a big charge that went wrong last season that brought his season to a close. So he's lived up to his word, because he's come out and he's got 4 of the best 5 hits of the game so far, all belonging to him. Thank you, Sam. Here's Preston Campbell, straight to Greg Bird. Tell you what, it's hard work out there when you're hitting like Sam does. Here's Preston. He goes to Ryan James, the old bushman's handkerchief. Here is James still going. He's only 30 metres out. Campbell at dummy half. He goes to Harrison. Here's Prince. Flat at the line. He goes wider still. Torpy. One-on-one there with Hornby. He got some help from Craig. They'll have one more play here. Fast play the ball. Preston almost lost it. He'll kick it towards the in goal. Too big. Way too big as it turns out. A fairly meek end to a set of 6.
Good charge by Ryan James to set things up for the Titans. They just couldn't take full advantage of it. Had the Dragons defensive line going backwards. That's a strong run. Looked to offload Luke Capewell on the inside. He just couldn't get his arms free. First half, the Titans player might have thrown that. I think John Cartwright, I'm sure, had a word to them about their final pass. Good ball, boy.
Tell you what, Ben Hornby took a real shot there from Sam Tagataese. He almost knocked the you-know-what out of Ben Hornby after removing it from himself.
Yeah, look at the touch. Here's Taggart. Oh, gee whiz. And the touch there from Darius Boyd to Cooper. Clever stuff.
Now Merrin playing it. Goes to Rain. Plenty of players around the play the ball there for the Dragons. They had all gravitated that left-hand side of the field. Rain. He goes to Soward. He says, I'll take the one. And the kick is good. With over half an hour remaining here at Skill Park, Jamie Soward just looks up towards Mark Gasnier and says, well, why not? It was there to be had. I took it.
Well, it's a tight game. They haven't spent much time in the Titans 20. In fact, they've only been tackled inside the Titans 26 times. Jamie Soward just outside the 20. Couple of smart pieces of play from the Dragons number 6 in this second half.
And there he is taking the catch off the restart, getting it off to Trent Merrin. He's monstered there by Ryan James once again. They've done it a couple of times now in this second half. Wayman met there is Preston Campbell. What a tackle, driving in underneath the ribs and dumping him to the ground. Wayman knows he's been tackled. Now another shift by the Dragons inside their own 20. We didn't see a lot of that last season.
No. Ben Cray, Darius Boyd out the back there. Little opportunity. Went with the flat runner in. Oh, nice ball. Soward.
Oh, James
chopped his legs from under him.
He got Soward in a hurry. Here's a chance for Scott to bump away from the tackle of Scotty Prince. He'll play it quickly as well. And Rain will feed it away to Soward, who will kick it towards the corner once again. Some back spin. It'll sit down right near the corner post as well. They've got Zillman hemmed in. He almost got away from them. In fact, Hornby was there and so was Brett Morris. And he almost got away from both of them.
It wasn't a great chase. It was a very good kick from Jamie Soward again, finding the ground, getting it into the corner, but only 2 Dragons players down there. And you're right, Zillman's speed almost saw him split those defenders, Morris and Ben Hornby, as Luke Bailey about to enter the fray again.
Torpy will play it for the Titans. 10 on his own side of halfway. Showing it Henderson as he came to the line, brings it back to the halfway line, and they'll play it here on the last as it goes to Prince. Now to Capewell, a chance to show what he can do. Lovely ball back on the inside from Bailey, away to Gordon, who keeps it in play. Eventually it goes over the sideline off the hand there of Greg Bird.
Well, that's what we spoke about in the first half, and that's what let the Titans down, the last pass. Terrific work, Luke Capewell and Luke Bailey, who's just run onto the football field. Lobbed it over the top in an attempt to find Kevin Gordon, who had just overrun it. You can't blame Luke Bailey for that. Kevin Gordon just too quick. Just got himself in front of Luke Bailey.
To check myself before I sent Bailey, it was hard to believe the big front row was out wide. I think a ball popped him back on the inside from Capewell. Michael Wayman off the field with almost 10 minutes of this second half gone. What about the choice, Gary Belcher, to go with the field goal?
Well read there from Scotty Prince, and I saw it in the first half a couple of times. Brett Morris dropped back really deep late in the on the tackle count, so that was good play there by Prince. Yeah, to go for the field goal, well, I think it's a great play by Jamie Soward. There was nothing else doing, and now they've got to score twice against the Dragons. The Titans, that is a tough ask against the best defensive side in the comp.
The best defensive side by some margin as well last year. It was daylight between themselves and the rest of the competition when it came to defending their own line, and Soward again finds the sideline this time, slows down the clock, gives his forwards a breather, and the Titans will have to work it away from a scrum at their own 10.
Well, he's just controlling the tempo of the game, Jamie Soward. Anywhere around halfway, and he's putting it into the corners or putting it out when they need a rest. I saw Trent Merritt, who took the ball up after the kickoff from the field goal. He looks like he needs a rest, Trent Merritt. He looked at the sideline after that run, which wasn't his best.
The Titans win it, and Greg Bird it is who will play it. Preston Campbell still working at dummy half for the Gold Coast. Now it goes to Harrison. So many touches of the ball in the opening 15 minutes, especially with the Titans on the attack. It took them until almost half-time to finally cross the stripe. Prince double pumping it, giving it to Michaels, the man who got across the line off the back of a Prince bomb. They've used up 4 plays, get it back into Dragons territory. Short side run, but Greg Bird never afraid to put his body on the line and take it down the narrow side. He did exactly that right there. Prince it is. He puts it up, some pressure here on Darius Boyd. Not a bad bomb, an awkward one. He puts it down. Henderson comes up with it. He pops it out the back. Capewell has it, and the Titans get 6 more, 10 metres out from the line. Now it goes from Campbell. One of Bodene Thompson, who is just back out there. Bit of work around the neck from Nathan Feet himself, just back on the field. Bailey takes it forward for a settler. Lets them work out what they're doing behind him. Capewell at first receiver. Prince very wide out to the left-hand side. Here's Capewell. Now Prince. He runs to the Bird to Soward. What a stop by the 5'8". Much maligned for his defence throughout his career, and he might have hurt Greg Bird right there. That rattled him. Here's Harrison taking it towards the uprights. Greg Bird is not well. Campbell goes to the right. Here's Capewell turning it back on the inside for Thompson, who does some dancing. He's only a couple of metres out. Last play, Campbell feeds it back for Prince. A grubber this time. Zillman chasing, but again they're kicking. An attacking situation goes beyond the dead ball line.
That's 3 or 4 dead from Scotty Prince tonight. 1 repeat set against the Dragons. Oh, Jamie Soward. Gee, that's a good shot on Greg Bird. Not only did he stop him in his tracks, but he stopped him offloading, which we know he is very good at, and almost impossible to stop him one-on-one, but Soward did it.
Tremendous tackle. Greg Bird coming at him, close range to the line. Pulled him up like he'd hit a brick wall. Hunt playing it. They go down the short side. Morris getting into the action. Here he is getting a nice ball back from Feed. Even better one to Cooper, who goes to Zillman. What a tackle. A try saver by the Titans fullback. They'll keep it going. They're fanned to the right-hand side. Now Boyd with options. Over the top to Nightingale. Dummying. Going for the line himself and staying just in the field of play.
He's hurt himself. Gee, he landed awkwardly there. He really had his legs stretched out.
He clutches at a knee or an ankle, perhaps. Here's Soward, a kick off the outside of the boot. And Phil Haynes, the referee, got tangled up with everybody.
Well, what do we do here?
I got hammered there, Clarkie.
Yes, you did.
I just want to see if me getting hammered has made Princey or the try scorer able to get that ball. It's fifth and last.
Yeah, I'm not going to make an early call on this, but I don't know if it did. I don't know if I just think the Titans players misread where the ball was going to bounce.
Boyd.
That could be completely wrong when we have a look at it in slow motion, but he got taken out. You're absolutely right. Jamie Soward, another lovely, deft little kick. Oh, well, it might have played a role in Zillman getting there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, I said I might have been wrong once we saw the slow motion. No, Zillman was...
I'll tell you what, Phil Haynes will need some ice when he gets back to the referee's room after the game, because he took a real shot, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm right.
Who's the standby referee?
Well, Steve Clark is up in the video referee's box. Unfortunately, his hands are tied, and the Dragons pick up 4 points, perhaps even 6. And the Titans are going to blow up.
Come out.
But there was nothing that Steve Clark could do. Luke Bale will get the full explanation.
Yeah.
We never know that.
Thanks, mate.
Well, the kick was that good, it deserved a try.
Yeah.
Jamie Soward, difficult. Look where he is. The pass was from the sideline. Unfortunate for the Titans. Desperately, and the ball just set up spot on for Darius Boyd.
Absolutely no risk in the world that William Zillman was going to catch it. But instead, it's the Dragons 17-6, make it 19-6. And it's a long way back from 13 behind for the Titans now, Gary.
Well, we've had some rule interpretations changed before this season. I think there's one straight away. We need to do something about that. Absolutely, that was Will Zillman's for sure. By a country mile, that's a tough one on the Titans. The referee, he's in a bad spot there, and he couldn't get out of the way, or he didn't get out of the way. Oh, gee, that's a shocker. We need to do something about that.
See, I think people are thinking, and what I originally thought when there was a collision, if a player with the football runs into the referee, it's a scrum, isn't it?
If you're in the attacking half,
yes.
The ball hits the referee, the ball goes to the team in the attacking half. That was an entirely different situation right there, with the fullback getting cleaned up by the referee, and while he was going in an awkward position, as you heard, there was nothing as far as the rule book is concerned that the video referee Steve Clark could do in that situation. And then award a try. It looks unfair. It's completely unfair, because Zillman was going to catch the ball, but that's the way it is. And as Gary Belcher said, plenty of interpretations have been tweaked in the lead up to this season. There might be one for the international board to look at, because I think that's where it would have to go. That one, I guess, to be changed.
Well, the drama of that really took away from what the Dragons were able to do in that set to lead up to that position. And they were fantastic. Nathan Fiend down a short side, one off the ruck, breaks through. Matt Cooper brings it in field.
That's two. You're on the ground. He's on the ground. Go back and it's your ball. Go back and play it.
Now this is good. This is good. Normally we would see a scrum pack down, but with the noise of the crowd, maybe it's touch and go whether he is held or not. The player gets up and runs again. The ball isn't taken off him. He goes back to the mark to play the ball. The Titans keep the ball, which is how it should be. There's a little tweak that's worked tonight.
That was re-emphasised by the referees' bosses in the pre-season as well, as the Titans bring it down the short side. We'll hear plenty more about that collision after the game. Press conferences, of course, by John Cartwright and also Wayne Bennett. Here's a chance. Boyd going up. Oh, terrific catch. And he was hit while he was a long way off the ground.
Plenty of courage. Darius Boyd launched himself after dropping the last one. Got to be going for a catch, and that's right. You don't come up with results. Well, he took the ball. Anyway, how good a take was it from Darius Boyd? And Bodene Thompson was going for the ball originally, but then changed his mind as he got up in the air. if you don't attempt to take the ball, you take yourself out of play. You may as well not chase a bomb if you're not going to attempt to catch the ball.
Helps the Dragons out of their own end, and their fans are in fine voice at the end of the stadium to which they are running to. 19-6, quarter of the game remaining. Time for the Titans if they're good enough. It's tough though against the Dragons. The Gold Coast will get a chance here.
Gee, I thought he did a great job there. Dan Hunt looked like he pulled that one in because the pass went behind him. Little tip on from one of his forwards. And it must have been that. Well, he did. He actually dragged the ball in and retained it, but dropped it when he hit the ground.
That's all right. Just hold the weight. Over the top. Come on, Bo. Get your head in.
It was a great set leading up to that try, and a fantastic kick from Jamie Soward again. The little chip again, and the position he was, because they were jammed onto the sideline. Such a hard job to do that, and with the chasers coming through on him.
If you think of rugby league in terms of chances created and chances taken, they have created some chances and taken most of them tonight, the Dragons, whereas the Titans have had a stack. They've only converted just the one so far. Campbell at dummy half as they come back to the short side for Bird. 3-on-3 there, well numbered up by the Dragons defensively. Gasnier had Bird, Soward was outside him. So was Nightingale, who seemed to have shaken off the effects of that knock to the leg. The lead up to the try by Boyd. Here's Bailey, good line that he ran straight towards the uprights, but an equally good tackle by Pryor, and also Hunt. Now Prince taking them on. Hunt doubling up on his work, makes a tackle just 5 metres out from the line. Prince not happy. Eventually he plays it. Campbell's kick is too big once again, and Boyd 4 or 5 times tonight has just watched that ball travel over the dead ball line, and they can bring it back out to their own 20.
Well, Scotty Prince has put a few dead. Preston Campbell's put a couple dead, and that's very unusual for both players to do that. You can't keep coughing up positions on the field, which the Titans have found themselves, and not get back-to-back sets.
They've forced just the one dropout so far in the game, the Titans. It's a poor conversion rate as far as repeat sets are concerned in attack, given the field position they've had. Feed to play it as it goes to Hornby, coming up quickly. Torpy was there, they'll force.
That's Cooper.
The Dragons play towards the sideline. In fact, it's Michael Greenfield who was out there fresh on the paddock. He gets his first touch. They take him into touch for his trouble.
Well, gee, it was a long way in too. Clinton Torpy did a great job, hit and stuck and drove, and then was helped by 4 others.
Wait, no seconds, no seconds.
A couple of mistakes by the Dragons at this point of the field, around about the halfway line in their last few possessions. The ball comes out of the scrum a long way. Play on is the call. And now the ball is stripped one-on-one from Scott Prince. Matt Cooper, in his 200th game, comes up with a nice little bit of theft right there. The Titans were going to have it from around about the halfway line. I think the ball coming out of the scrum the way it did surprised Scott Prince, and he wasn't quite with it. He had his pocket picked as a result. Here's Nightingale turning it back on the side to Boyd. They're played about 20 metres out from the Gold Coast line. Nightingale at dummy half. It goes to Soward. Here is Matt Pryor, picking it up to within about 15. Perhaps a try here to put them to bed. Feed running a long way. It goes to Hornby. Off the shoulder of Prince. He keeps going, and Prince comes again to drag him down from behind. Then Cray at dummy half. He feeds it back for Soward. He took one from there earlier. Now a cross kick for Darius Bodene, who gets a double.
Is he all right? He landed awkwardly. Let's hope he's all right. Jamie Soward. What a second half it has been for the Dragons. And that man, Jamie Soward, Darius Boyd, just landed awkwardly with the kick. And here's the strip. Matt Cooper, just too strong for Scotty Prince. I think he was a little bit complacent and wasn't thinking that Cooper would pull it off. Soward just chips it across field, finds Boyd, and just that leg stretched and That left leg stuck on the ground.
He was awkwardly going to ground, wasn't he, as well? His legs splayed apart, but he's all smiles. It's his first double since the back end of the 2008 season. Of course, he was still a Brisbane Bronco. 23 points to 6. I said if they could score there in that set, it might just about put the Titans away.
Have you seen a better individual kicking game than this one from Jamie Soward in the second half? What he's done with the football, controlled the tempo of the game, got the Dragons out of trouble, kicked a field goal, put two little kicks in, two lovely little kicks in that the Dragons have come up with points from. And he's kicking goals too. Is there another sort of kick that he can pull off tonight that he hasn't done?
Hard to think of. Maybe a banana. There's 2 points. It's 25 to 6 with 15 remaining here on the Gold Coast.
So you think about Luke Bailey.
His fantasy points. Have you got him in your team?
The Bull's not in my team. He's racked up 26.
Go to foxsports.com.au, of course, to register your team in the fantasy NRL competition. $1,000 up for grabs every week.
What is it, even as employees? Can I get the 1,000?
You may be ruled out of it. Doing it just for fun. Preston Campbell goes back to the bench. His fun may be over for tonight. He was very good in the first half when he came on, along with Sam Tagataese, Ryan James. They really got the Titans going forward, but just couldn't go on with it in the second half. Didn't take their chances when they had them.
No, you just don't.
Dragons 20.
You just don't beat the Dragons if you don't put some pressure on them. Jamie Soward's going to be penalised.
He's walked off. His only responsibility is to play the ball here, not there.
He's been penalised for moving off the mark. Things the referees are looking at him to play the ball. See, there he is on the 20. He pushes forward. Plays it about 2 metres beyond where Ashley Harrison was standing.
Yeah, I know, but it was an awkward one because he sort of went underneath Ashley Harrison.
I guess the message is don't go underneath the man's 10-metre mark.
I was saying you just don't beat the Dragons if you don't maintain any sort of pressure in the kicking game when they've been inside the 20, and they've been inside the 20 more than twice as much as the Dragons have inside their half. Prince trying to dummy his way through the line. Look capable.
See what they offer here at the back end of this set. He's only 5 metres out from the Dragons line, but he'll play it. With 3 tackles up their sleeve, it goes away from Riley Brown. Thompson was set upon straight away. Getting out of the line quickly was Matt Cooper, and he shut him down in a hurry. Now Brown giving it an awkward one for Scotty Prince. Ball back on the inside for Luke Bailey. He get an arm free, wrapped up there by Scott and also Hunt. Last play this time. Prince puts through the hands this time, and again Jamie Soward was right up there in the face of Greg Bird. The pass was forward anyway, but again Soward really taking it to Greg Bird.
I think winning a premiership, you know what it does for a team in general, and the confidence that you take from it, but I think the vindication of the label that they got out of the 2009 season to go on and win the comp, when they were the side to beat last year too. They're the side to beat, they're the defending premiers, but they were the side to beat last year too. You see that in Jamie Soward, I think, just that confidence in his individual ability, and his tackles down this right-hand side on Greg Bird tonight say plenty about the vindication of winning a competition and being proven right, being proven that you are the best in the game.
Another forward pass here, this one from the Dragons. As Mark Gasnier was looking to come back against the grain around the play the ball. Fiend going one way, coming back the other side to Gasnier. It'll be a good call by the men in charge. With just over 10 minutes remaining, Mark Gasnier might argue the toss. Too pleased with the call. Puts his team under pressure again. See what the Titans can close this gap with 12 minutes remaining. Zillman to play. It goes from Brown away to Matt White, standing in the tackle. The effort in the tackle in defence by the Dragons. Dan Hunt again was there, getting through a mountain of work in his time on the field tonight. Capewell stepping in traffic. The player just outside the 10. Here's Brown. Shows it once, shows it again, takes them on. Matt Pryor wasn't falling for a dummy, and neither was Dan Hunt. Racks up another one. Harrison. He goes to Prince. Here's Greg Bird, probably looking for Jamie Soward by this stage, and there he is with some help from Gasnier to make the tackle on him about 3 metres out from the line. Here's the last. Brown will feed it back to Prince. He steps off the right foot. Good kick this time. That's what they needed earlier in the game. And Ashley Harrison has been impressive tonight. Grabs a 4-pointer.
That was magical stuff from Scotty Prince. Had to step off his right foot, create the opening himself after the defence moved up pretty quick on the outside. Raced up there. I think it was Big Dan Hunt. The fact that the inside man was a little bit slower. There's the hole from Greenfield, and there's the best hands we've seen from the Titans all night. Ashley Harrison sliding in and taking a difficult one. Almost hit the post. He was able to drag it down and get it over the line.
Well, 10 minutes remaining. Anything is possible given what we've seen over the years, of course, in the NRL. Scotty Prince from right in front isn't mucking around with it. And he brings them back within 13 as we go downstairs to Gary.
Yeah, didn't they need it? They've been frustrated out of this game to this point, the Titans. They certainly needed those points. I'm not sure they've got enough in them to reel the Dragons in here. But Luke Capewell, he's barely been sighted, hasn't he? That combination, I was looking so much forward to seeing how he combined with Scotty Prince as the Titans' new 5'8", just hasn't been able to get himself into the game.
No, agree, Badge. I was thinking about that when I watched Luke Capewell take on the defence during that set. It's probably something that we haven't seen enough of him, from him, running the football, which is his strength. But it'll be a work in progress. Not easy to slot into the 5'8" position. Outside such a dominant player as Scott Prince too, that can always be difficult.
David Mead with the catch. We'll see what they can do from their own end here, because to track them down, they need to play some footy from this end of the field. They're working forward through the big men first up. Play it through Matthew White. Brown, it is a dummy half. Flat ball across to Harrison. And has grabbed their second 4-pointer of the night. Here's Prince to kick from inside the 40. Going down the middle of the field. Was well covered, and he hinted a 40-20 attempt. Boyd waits and set up off its point inside the in-goal area. In the end, he was under pressure to bring it back, and he did so by a few metres, but they were down there to make a tackle. And they need to force an error quickly, the Titans, to get the ball back in their hands.
Well within his rights to let it bounce too, because most kicks have gone dead for the Titans tonight. Darius Boyd having to bring that one out.
Pryor works it up towards Bailey and also Bird. Dragons have made a couple of errors at this end of the field in the second half. No mistakes. A safety first out of 6 so far this one, as you'd expect, with only 8 minutes remaining on the clock. Last play, though, kicking from about 25 metres out from their own line. Soward, as he does, finds the turf. It's picked up here by Kevin Gordon. Bring it back to almost the 40. Time in their own half in the second half. The Dragons have been inside their own 50. 2/3 of the second half to this point. Steve Michaels playing. Here's Zillman. Can be effective working around the ruck. Luke Bailey is probably done for tonight. Now Brown showing it, getting into the backfield almost. Grabbed there by Gasnier, sent back to play it. Another example of that interpretation being used by the referees as Ryan James works it up towards the post. 15 out. Last play. Brown looking for an option. He kicks himself straight to Soward. He lost it backwards. Jared Maxwell was right on the spot to rule it that way, and the Dragons hang on. see the kick by Brown. It certainly went backwards off the hands or the knee of Jamie Soward. Brett Morris gets a rare touch to work it away from his own end. He's hardly had a touch tonight. Consider how effective they are on their left-hand side of their attack. Darius Boyd wrapping around the back of Hornby, firing balls, come-out passes to this man, Brett Morris. He's hardly had a chance to show what he can do tonight.
Now, they have mixed things up a little bit. Interesting to see. Jamie Soward just drives that one over Kevin Gordon's head. And again, finds touch right in the corner. Pat on the head from his teammate. Dan Hunt certainly deserves it.
This is beautiful. He just judges the space. So, well, he must, I don't know if he is a golfer, but he has to be a good golfer if he ever takes it up.
Well, Kevin Gordon, there wasn't much space. He drove the ball low. There wasn't much space between Gordon and the sideline. He was able to get over Gordon's head, hit the ground, roll into touch.
Sam Tagataese about to come back on for the Gold Coast.
Nice and tight.
Looks as though they won't go on to win the game. At least the Titans can say they've broken the streak as far as the Dragons, keeping opposition teams scoreless in the second half of games, because the try they scored, it's the first points anybody's grabbed against the Dragons since the regular season of 2010. They didn't concede a point, as we said, in the finals in the second half of those three games against the Sea Eagles, the Tigers and the Roosters respectively. Now James Capewell as the ball bounce off a Dragon. Should be 6 again as Hornby picks it up. Now he pops the ball. Capewell back on the inside for David Mead. He gets around Bodene. Is grabbed from behind by Trent Merrin. Now Zillman taking it 25 metres out from the line. They didn't restart the tackle count. This will be the last right here. Prince gives it to James, a wide ball. He needs to keep it alive. Finds Bird. He finds Thompson standing in the tackle of Soward. Now Prince over the top. He goes underneath. Bird kicks. Bo Scott is back there. They'll try and strip it. In fact, they do. And this will be an interesting call to see which way it goes.
Yeah, there was one, so it was off the Titans.
And they're going to say it was a one-on-one strip off the Titans, out of play. The Dragons will get the food.
Was there only one player in that tackle?
It looked like there were two, with one dropping off just before the strip.
Well, they waited to tackle too long. William Zillman had a hit up after they made a bust. Here's the play, Bo Scott. He's dropped off. Kevin Gordon is the player that rips the ball out of Bo Scott's hand. They got it right. But the Titans, after busting the Dragons' line, instead of using the ball, and they were spread out to Kevin Gordon on the sideline, William Zillman took another hit up. Well, that just negated everything because the Dragons' line was set there.
They're tackling the opposing 20. Massive differential there. The other way on the scoreboard, with the Dragons leading with just over 4 minutes remaining, 25 points to 12. Soward from the back of the scrum gives it to Gasnier. Oh, there's Sam Tagataese again. He's a man on a mission here tonight. Oh, boy, what a hit by Matt White. Darius Boyd, take your change in Wrigley's out of that. Aren't they aiming up here at the death?
I liked how Darius Boyd then bent down and pretended he had cramp. He was just recovering, wondering where he was. He didn't want to show Matt White that he'd been stung, but he had. And the Titans.
Excuse me, Ryan. We'll blow time off. Okay, and they can stay bound. They can stay bound.
Well, the ball has gone to ground here. And it's going to be the Titans who come up with possession. Matt Pryor struggling in the tackle, Sam Tagataese, and then he did that.
It hasn't been a happy night for Matt Pryor. He's done a lot of good work in between, but mistakes early in the game, and that one.
Scotty Prince gives it to Luke Capewell. They go out towards Quinton Torby. The ball goes to ground. Zillman only just gets back to clean it up. He'll 11 just inside the Dragons 20. Here is David Mead. Like Brett Morris on that side of the field hasn't had too many chances tonight, but his last touch before that one was a beauty. Now Bailey. Grabbed there by Pryor, the man who made the mistake. In the play the ball. Brown feeds it back for Campbell. He goes over the top to Bird. Pass it goes to the turf. Luckily it went bounced up for the back row, but he's monstered here. Good defence once again. Beau Scott was in there, so was Trent Merrin. Now James standing in the tackle, can't get the right arm free. Dan Hunt will hold him up and force him back to the ground. Last play, Brown will go to the line to kick it, gives it to Darius Boyd, and boy, they have some work to do on their last play options between this affair and their next effort next week.
Well, they do, but there's no reason why they can't turn around, because they get the man, well, what we thought was the best in the business at those short kicks. At getting the ball in the end goal, laying on some crossfield kicks for his outside men. We just haven't seen it from Scott Prince tonight. Their ball control hasn't helped inside the 20. Last passes just when they are starting, and they've got the Dragons spread eagled and under the pump a bit in defence. The last pass has gone to ground.
Here is Hornby, stopped inside his own 30. They'll continue to try and muscle up defensively here, the Titans. Mid-train is back out there. Solid on debut tonight. Kick to Kevin Gordon. Have them scrambling on this right edge of the Dragons' defensive line, but Gasnier makes a good tackle. Now Thompson, met by Rain, and also Trent Merrin. Here's Gordon, had a dummy half. Going towards Soward. Merrin again coming at him. Ian Hunt work non-stop in defence in their time on the field as they go wide to Prince. Comes across the post. He links up with Campbell. Good right hand to reel it in. He runs towards Hornby. They had them going sideways and there was nowhere to go. They just slid across the defensive line, the Dragons. Now Torpy. Short ball. Good ball as well. Reaching out. Sam Tagataese has grabbed himself a 4-pointer. And doesn't he deserve it after the game he's had in defence?
He's been strong for the Titans, Tagataese, when they haven't had the ball. Nice hole, just hit the line hard. Clinton Torpy just got him in between defenders. Referee right on the spot. The ball spewed out of his grasp, but there was no doubt that he got it down for the 4-pointer.
Will do us as far as the try scoring is concerned tonight. And the Titans, their woes continue against the Dragons despite Sam getting that 4-pointer as the siren sounds. Record now just 2 wins from 9 games against St George Illawarra, by far their worst record against any of the other 15 teams in the NRL. The good news is they can get past this first up effort and start concentrating from now on for what they'll face in Melbourne next week when they take on the Storm next week on Super Saturday. Scotty Prince a chance to make it a 7-point game at the death. He can't do that. 25-16. The Dragons have opened up their defence of the premiership they won in 2010. Well, they were impressive and could hardly have done much more tonight. Jamie Soward, what a game he had in particular.
Well, 12-6 at half-time, a dominant second half by the Dragons. The Titans had their opportunities, just couldn't mount any pressure on the Dragons' defence. Split them a number of times and looked likely. Last pass, 5th tackle option, let them down. But the Dragons are another very good display and a second half performance by Jamie Soward that just controlled the football game and set the win up for them.
Well, they lost Neville Costigan. They also lost Jeremy Smith, but they still have a star-studded lineup, and here is one of their stars with Gary Belcher.
Yeah, Darius Boyd, a great game at the back. A couple of tries there, mate. Nice homecoming back to the Gold Coast to get the points.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good hit out first game of the year. Titans are very strong. It was a tough game. It's a bit hotter up here too, so it was good to get the win.
Well, they set moves, plans that you thought there was an opportunity out there off Jamie Soward. You scored a couple of tries from those little dinking bombs in the second half.
Oh, not so much planned. I think I've been trying to pick up my support play a little bit for this season, and yeah, just Soward's great at those little kicks and things. So I'm sure if I can run off a bit more, I can get a few more tries, hopefully.
So you pulled up sore from one of them, and you copped a big whack late too, mate. You're okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just no, it was good to get the win, but looking forward to next round as well.
Must be important as well, given that you've got 4 away games first up. So it's, you know, every win on the road is really important. It could be a disaster if you started, you know, you didn't get those away wins.
Yeah, definitely. It's always tough to get away wins, and it's also, I suppose, good for the coming home. We've got a few games in the end of the season, so it'll be good.
And a point to prove for the Premiers, mate. Well done.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, mate.
And Darius Boyd, he was very good here tonight.